You're listening to the Fortnite Community Podcast with your hosts, TwoLoud, TX, and Nolxero.
What up, and welcome to another episode of Fortnite Community Podcast. I'm your host, TwoLoud, TX, and here with me today, the one, the only, the 1 HP killer, Nolxero. What's going on, bro?
Oh, not much, man. Just winning a bunch of PvP matches, but we're talking PVE first. So
we've been putting in the grind, so we'll have the little battle royale show up this week as well, so you guys can listen to that. But we are going to talk about Survive the Storm. But a couple quick things to jump off the list. Of course, this show is brought to you by Glomtom. Glomtom is the perfect gift. Hopefully, you got for Christmas is what I'm hoping. If not, take that Christmas money you got and go buy yourself a Glomtom. Use the code Fortnite at glomtom.com for 5% off, and it does help us. Also,
go ahead and buy it. You won't.
Yeah, do it. I dare you. You will enjoy it. In fact, you'll probably tweet at me, TwoLoud, you've changed my gaming life forever. Because I have changed my own gaming life by Glomtom. But enough about that. I did get a lot of good Christmas presents. How about you? Did you have a good holiday season, sir?
Wonderful. It was the best.
What did you... For all those people that don't know, what did you do for Christmas? What did you make a little road trip action, right? Little coming back and go and see some family down in Austin?
Yes.
And then
it's not great. It's great to go see family, but like putting my wife and kids in a vehicle for 3 hours there, 3 hours back is a nightmare, bro. My kids are too old and they just hate each other after like an hour. So,
right.
They just sit there and talk crap to each other, and then they're like, Dad!
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, get me out of this car already.
Yeah. No, I'm lucky. I didn't have to travel this year. We convinced my family to come in from out of town and come to our house, and then the same with my wife and her family. We all had Christmas at our house. So, hey, I guess that's one benefit to having a new home that we got into this year, because got that. We got some pretty cool stuff. We all got SCUF controllers. If you hadn't heard, David got his early for Christmas. But we all got SCUF controllers, which is pretty sweet. We got we all went with the Impacts. I got the Joker one. What'd you get? You got Shields and Swords or whatever? Isn't that the one you got?
Something like that. I don't remember the exact name of it.
I know.
It's
Kyle got one as well.
It's a blue and black, gray and silver-ish.
I know you've been making the adjustment. You like it? You feeling it more lately?
I'll say it's been a slow build for me. I thought about this last night, actually, going to bed. I was like, I didn't think it was all that great at first.
Right.
Like, being real honest, it was like looking at playing with the SCUF and stuff. It was like, it's all right. It doesn't really, okay.
Right.
Kyle got it, and he was like, "Oh my god, my aim is so much better. Oh, I'm a pro now."
and then all of a sudden he couldn't shoot. Then all of a sudden his stick was sticking.
It's so funny because the 20 kill video you put on YouTube, he literally says the SCUF has increased his accuracy so much, and then he dies. I was like, "That's hilarious timing. You couldn't have planned that better."
Yeah.
So at first I was like indifferent to it. I was like, I know you go through a lot of accessories, and I'm like, Pro really likes the controller, so there's got to be some kind of merit here. And I didn't really see it at first, but the more I played with it, the more it's grown on me. The bumpers, the little knobs on the back, the little panels, I use somewhat, not super effectively. I still use pretty much the standard control setup. I'm getting used to the sticks. I think those are actually kind of getting on me. In fact, because they have a wider radius.
Yeah.
And so it's almost like having control freaks on your analog sticks. So I had to up, like when we were talking about sensitivity last night, I upped my sensitivity because of that radius and how much more is there. I felt like I needed more speed. I needed to be able to move. So, but it's coming around, man. I won 9 games just last night. Excuse me, my throat's still clearing up, guys. Won 9 games. I'm feeling better and better about the controller. At first, I just didn't like that it didn't feel like the PlayStation 4 controller, but overall, dude, I think overall it's growing on me. It's a slow build, but last night, like I was going to bed, I was like, dude, I really am starting to enjoy my controller. Like I'm really starting to enjoy it. Because at first, I was like, I hate this thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it definitely takes some time. For me, obviously, I started with a regular, Infinity, which is a normal PS4 scuff. And so it was a little easier to get adjusted to than the Impact. And then when I got my Impact for Christmas, I was like, oh, I love how it feels. So I actually enjoy both the controllers. I think 4 paddles is kind of overkill, my personal opinion on the Impact. I don't ever use the 2 in the middle, but it's because my hands are also smaller. So I don't really reach them easily either. But I'm really enjoying it. I really like the controller. I know Scuff's had some problems throughout the years of, different paddle configurations. They were screwed into the controller at one time and they would wear out. And this new system is really sweet, really nice. The quality seems to be pretty good. I know they've upped their quality over the years.
It's very well built.
Yeah.
Definitely very well built. And I've only held other Scuff controls. But yeah, I mean, it's a good build, man. And
yeah.
All the little things, excuse me again, all the little things that I didn't think I really gave a crap about. Like, at first, when the grip, I was like playing, I was like, grip on it. I was like, this grip is kind of annoying. Like, do I really need grip? Does anybody ever have a problem with like playing and like, whoa, my controller slipped out? So, no, everything's growing on me, man. I really, really, just more and more. It seems like every day. So if you buy Scuff, my biggest thing to you is give it a couple weeks because you might hate it at first. Give it a little time to grow on you because I didn't like mine and I didn't want to come straight out and be like, oh, I hate it. I was like, oh, maybe I should get the Infinity. Maybe I like the PS4 model better because I really do like my PS4 controller a lot. And actually playing with my Scuff a little bit and then going back to my PS4 kind of played mind games with me, or I was like, dude, see, you like this PS4 controller better.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. I was like, oh yeah. No. I would suggest anybody that buys this Scuff that hates it, give it a couple weeks. You might still hate it. Go try to get your money back, sell it, whatever you're gonna do. But give it a couple weeks because it definitely was a slow build for me. It was not like, oh my god, this is amazing.
Yeah. You didn't have the Kyle effect.
No,
I've had a Cinch controller, a couple Scuff controllers, a couple other gamer mods, some other people that have bought them over the years, and I really like my Scuffs. I mean, I will keep buying their product. I love I get addicted to products anyways. If you guys know, I love Astro products. Every single thing that Astro makes has been phenomenal for me. Lasted a long time, great durability, good sound, all that. And so for me, as far as controllers go, Scuff's kind of my choice, and I also got like a Scuff beanie for Christmas. I also got a Fortnite Battle Royale hoodie. So I'm pretty excited about that one, flying that around. But, my wife always...
Fred dives all in. I'm
all in.
If he likes something, he dives all in. If he likes
Fortnite, that's why we are partnered with Glomtom. I love Glomtom. I think their product's great. I think the people there are great. I think they make a
You are literally the best person for any company in the world to do marketing through, because if you truly believe in their products, you will literally adorn yourself with everything them.
Yeah, no, it's true.
So
it's true. It's funny because when we went to E3 in 16 or whatever it was, we were talking to the Astro rep, and I was asking him some questions about some products, older products that they had, and he's like, "Oh yeah. He had no idea. He had no idea that they used to have like the the little earbuds that they used to have, and the wireless packs for the A40s that they used to make, like all that stuff I still have. But anyhow, it was Christmas. It was a good time, man. We had a lot of fun with the family. And I got to come see you a couple times, hang out a little bit. So, here we come to 2018. You brought
me a really big Ethernet cord.
Yeah.
Which my wife, I'm sure, is incredibly grateful for, because we have a TV that has a smart thing where you can watch Netflix through the TV, and it always loses its internet connection wirelessly. You brought this cable over, now no problems. I love it that you brought that over, because whenever it would stop working, no matter what we're doing, whether it's podcasting or playing a game, honey, it won't work. Yeah. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Just press the button and enter the password and eventually it'll work.
Yeah.
So, no, that's a fantastic blessing.
Well, I'm glad I could help you. I knew I had that sitting around the house. But yeah, it was a good Christmas. And we brought in the new year with multiple wins yesterday. You said you had like 8 or 9 wins last night. I know I had 4 or 5. They're along your ride.
The new year right.
Yeah, we were bringing it in right. And obviously, playing Fortnite as we continue to do every day. So thank you guys so much. Just wanted to kind of talk a little bit about Christmas, our holidays, what was going on. So hopefully you guys can continue to get to know us. We want to get to know you guys. So, tweet at us. Tell us what you got for Christmas. Do you get anything cool? Anything you want to show off? Want us to mention? Also, thanks to everybody that's given us an iTunes review. And some of you that have and you don't like the show, hey, if you're still listening, let us know what we can do better. Tell us what we can. And those of you that have given us a 5-star or 4-star, thank you so much. It really does help us continue to grow and make people more aware about a Fortnite podcast on iTunes. So go leave us a comment there. Also on Podbean, do it there as well. Podbean.com, fortnitepodcast.podbean.com. And you can leave us comments and reviews there as well.
If you have something negative to say, like he said, please leave something. Like, I don't care if you 5-star with no typing, and you don't want to type anything in, like, hey, love the show, guys. You don't have to type anything on a 5-star. That's fine. But if you go over there and give us 1, 2, or 3-star and don't type nothing, like, that literally is a crap review because you're not helping anybody out. Nobody knows why you don't like it, so they can't look at it and say, oh, well, I won't like that either. You can't help us out because we don't know what you didn't like.
And what to do better. Yeah, for sure.
Exactly.
Well, let's go ahead and jump in here to some Save the World.
If you can hear me, I need your help. I'm all alone out here. If you can hear me.
So we've had this Save the World, obviously, the winter event coming. And the main thing here is survive the storm, right? Like that's the objective to do this time around. Unlike Fortnitemares, or where you had this like little campaign going on in the storyline that was broken out. This is a little different layout than that. I will say, if you don't own and you're listening to this show and you play Battle Royale and you have any intuition or inclination, should I say, to actually go buy this game and buy the PVE, do it now because it's 50% off. So they are bearing gifts from Epic continually as 50% off continues. This has been on and off a couple of times. I don't know how much longer it's going to go.
I think it says right here, and I don't know if this is because you gave me a code for it, and this just shows this way. There's for deluxe upgrade, or for upgrade, it shows $10.
Yeah. So, and you have the basic one. I have, I got like the Founders Pack or whatever. The Epic Founders Pack or Legendary, whatever it was. So, share those with friends. You can get some copies, guys. Like, say your friend, split the money with your friend. Go buy one that gives you an extra copy, and you guys go, throw that down. It's 50% off. So, if you are interested at all in playing the PVE, please hit it up. It is a lot of fun. We have fun. We do have some things to nitpick about it this time around, but it is fun. So, I just want to mention first off, it is 50% off. It is Survive the Storm. And let's start there. Survive the Storm, David. Tell me about the fun factor and the length. How do you compare these things together? We obviously have the 3-day, the 7-day, and we do not have a 14-day this time.
Thank God.
So,
dude,
let's jump into the fun factor.
I'm just going to have to give it like the whole, as I'll just give and take. So, like, I'll give a positive, negative type thing because, so positively, you go in and you get to build, and you get to build pretty extravagantly, and then you defend.
And you can get some resources during all this. It's a beautiful map. Yeah, it is beautiful.
A nighttime where you get attacked, and a daytime where you can kind of collect your self and get ready for the next wave. Right. It makes you start on a 15. A level power level 15 to enter, because there's 3 basically. It's a 15, a 40, and a 70. So they make you start on the easy one to kind of unlock the immediate one, and then the top ones. So 7 days is you build. You have the days, which we were saying is 8 or 9 minutes. We have nights. The days and nights I think are about the same amount of time. Maybe days are a little bit longer. I haven't really paid attention.
I don't really remember the exact timing either. I just know that it's like 9 minutes I think per wave.
Yeah, it's definitely not about 9 minutes. It could be 8, but it's I think a 9. I haven't played a bunch of them because 3-day is much more manageable. I can get in like 20-30 minutes, get it done. 7-day is like an hour or so, and you can vote to skip days. The problem is majority doesn't rule here. So if 3 people want to skip the day and one person doesn't vote or decides that they don't want to, like, so somebody, if you're playing solos and somebody walked away to take a piss or something,
right?
You're trying to vote to skip. Well, you can't. And some people are like, well, that's good because then the guy that went to go piss can come back and not be in trouble. It's like, but you're building defenses. As long as he goes and stands in a safe spot, he won't die, and your team should be able to handle the waves. Unless he's like your strongest guy, power level wise. So that was a minor frustration for me because I felt like every time I've been in a match and I want to skip a day, I feel like there's always one dude that wants to wait the entire time. And at first, it's not a big deal, especially if it's the first game of my day. I get on, I'm playing. I'm pretty patient. I'm ready to, just sit down and enjoy a game. But I'm telling you, it starts to wear thin, like wave after wave. Horde mode to me is like just on its own isn't all that fun if there's not a lot of variety.
Right.
And there's not a ton of variety here because it feels like the waves are very randomly generated, which I'm sure they are. Because to me, if they would kind of think through these waves and plan them out, I just feel like there would be structure there that would be better and make a more interesting fight. When it's random, I mean, it's just like what every single match of that I've been in, and I haven't done a 70 yet, but every single match I've done of this always turns into a thing where people are standing in the spawn, killing stuff immediately. Just sitting there.
Yeah, you mean 70 by the difficulty, in case anybody was wondering.
The power level 70. I haven't done a power level 70. So that starts to really wear down on the fun factor too, because it's a lot of fun when you build a base and you kind of have things working in a nice harmony and you got like trap hallways set up and things are really working out for you.
Yeah.
But when your team, especially when y'all have all pitched in and made this crazy base, but then realized, oh, well, if we just stand in the spawn, we'll kill them quicker.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. To me, that's where it breaks down and I stop having fun and I'm like, okay, let's just skip. If we're just going to stand in spawn and kill these things, skip the days immediately so we can get through this as fast as possible. That's where the breakdown is for me. I think there's some fun to be had there, but me personally, I don't like to survive the storm.
Yeah, it's definitely a different beast. I don't mind it either. I mean, like if you were on a scale of 1 to 10, and 10's the most fun you've ever had. Say it's battle royale task. Let's just put a cap on it. Say it's like that addiction of battle royale where you have to keep going back. That's a lot of fun. We play it every night, hours and hours, compared to something that's like super horrible, like playing Pong right on Atari right now. Like if you had to go play that. I would put this like in the middle of those two experiences, definitely like a 5 or a 6 on a scale of 1 to 10.
On replayability, so a 7, a 7 day, I'd put at like a 2, and a 3 day, like a 5 or 6, maybe a 7.
Yeah, and I was speaking mainly on 3 days. So that's mainly I played.
14 days. 14 days can suck it. They didn't have skips back in the day. Okay, I didn't play that back then, but let me tell you, all you Fortniters out there, I feel your pain. I know. I can imagine what it must have been like to do 14 days, no skips on the day part. Oh, like what is? I don't even know how much time is that. Is that like 3 hours?
It had to be forever.
3 hours of the most boring raid possible.
Yeah.
Like oh god. No mini bosses either.
Yeah, there's no mini bosses.
There wasn't even mini bosses. Yeah. It was just the standard stock enemies for 15 nights.
Yeah. Well, you bring up mini bosses, and this is a really cool change. This is something I will give to them that they've done. Look, I'm sure there's a lot of development going on constantly. We always hear an update on this game, so I'm not nitpicking the fact that that's not enough, right? We've already talked a little bit about how we'd like a little more variety when it comes to mini bosses per se. But what they've done in the meantime, while they're building these bosses or whatever they're end up doing, it's a pretty cool concept. Like there's these different, things that are getting added to the enemies. So different buffs and area of effect things that are happening and damage multipliers that are occurring. That when they come, they are significantly harder to take down. Obviously, this is all dependent on your power level, but for the most part, whatever level you're at, they're going to be a little more challenging.
Yeah, and it really depends on modifiers. I mean, if you get a tanky guy and he has, I don't know what all the modifiers are, either. But if you get a tanky guy and he has some even more tanky modifiers or a reflex damage, he can be a pain in the butt.
So I would like this to happen. Speak of this though, and this is the main thing I want to say about mini bosses is I would like there to be better notification that the mini boss is in play. Right?
Yes.
There needs to be some type of notification on your screen. Hey, mini boss inbound, or put him with a big VIP tag that you can see him on the map somewhere. Something, because when you're doing these 3 days, and I did a 3-day, I actually failed, and I was talking to you when this happened, because I was trying to take down this mini boss, and I could not take him down by myself, and the other team was so worried about the other things that were going on, they didn't even realize that there was a mini boss sitting there destroying our generator.
Yeah, and for anybody that hasn't played yet, the thing to understand is you probably failed day 3, right? Okay, because day 1 you're probably nothing, day 2 is probably nothing, day 3 started ramping up to power level 40 on the 15. The thing to know is there's 3 different spawn areas, so it's very easy for your team to be kind of spread
different
out.
Generators. Yeah.
And if you're playing solo, let's be real, okay? Most people are not using a microphone.
No.
And if they are, they're probably in party chat with other people. But if it's a group of nothing but solos, most people are probably not using their microphone. Now, we could have an argument that people should turn on their mics. That's not going to happen. We can't change that.
Oh, absolutely not.
We can change what we see in game and the notification.
Yeah.
And they show a health bar on the UI, but I don't even think you see that unless you interact with the mini boss.
So,
because there's been times where there's mini bosses, but I've not noticed that they're there.
So how about, how they mark a balloon in Battle Royale? Like if you shoot the balloon, right? We've been doing this a lot lately, to mark it to see where it's falling, to make sure we know when it gets popped. Why can't they just do that for a mini boss? As soon as somebody sights that mini boss, it's the whole team sees them.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it should go a little bit above that, because this is supposed to be an addition of a problem, a big problem, right? It's bigger than a regular enemy. It's a bigger problem than a regular enemy. It's supposed to be a boss,
right?
Just a mini boss. So it should have the weight of a mini boss to be I don't know if your screen should turn red and you get some kind of visual, there should be visual cues to this thing, because especially if I'm in a 7-day and I lose because I'm soloing the mini boss and have no way to communicate to the other people that I am fighting a mini boss, or they don't have a way to communicate to me that they're fighting a mini boss, that's just very, very frustrating. It's very frustrating, because it's some people can say, well, just be aware. The thing is as you progress through the days, you start building generators in different locations. So it's not an awareness problem.
Well, even for me, it
really spread out.
It goes beyond that a little bit, because you might be aware, but you can't expect everybody to be on the same gaming level, right? So, people that play these games a lot, they might notice it, but somebody that's fairly new and they're going through their 3-a-day or whatever, they might not notice it at all, right? They might not even they don't read the patch notes. They don't listen to this podcast.
They might not know there's many bosses in the game.
Yeah, and so for me, I definitely agree. It should be hey, incoming boss, say something, throw something up on the screen. When if it's a cool art piece, flash real quick, like they do for like when you're doing your shield base, right? And you get a new enemy, and they show that picture real quick of the new enemy.
Yeah, actually, like, that's what I was thinking.
Something like that would be really cool, and it could list the modifiers real quick next to it. So it's like it's a 5-second jump on the picture. Little splash art.
That I agree, and this is kind of why I had a problem when, if you listen to our last PVE, I believe I kind of threw some shade at the fact that they were just putting modifiers on the standard
mini bosses.
Enemies.
Yeah.
The other big problem here is you can't identify the guy necessarily.
Yeah,
there are some that have some visual cues that change a little bit, but sometimes they look the same as the regular version. So I can see a smasher over there and a smasher over there, and I'm like, they look like smashers to me, one and the same. Like, this one's a problem and this one's a problem.
Yeah. Or you don't know, hey, I should be using fire damage, or I should be using water damage, or like you don't know. Yeah. You don't know what to use.
Yeah, I mean, it just goes back to the same problem that they currently have in this game, and the reason why a lot of people fall off of the PvE is because there's not a lot of information in game as to what's going on. Yeah. I mean, every single night we play PvE, you always have a new plethora of questions, and I feel like each night we go through tutorial mode again, like, what is this? And we go and dive through all this stuff again, and we go do that stuff, and it's like, it's not a problem for me. Like, I'm not complaining on us having that conversation.
I won't ask you anymore. That's fine. Yeah. Forget it.
Epic really needs to communicate with the player better.
Yeah.
So that they can be aware of what's going on. They can understand the game better.
Yeah. There's been a lot of things, like you said, that they can, obviously tweak a little bit, give us some more information. There was actually, we had the ability to look at our storage and your backpack outside of the game. They took that out because there was some problems with people losing items. So they went ahead and took that out. They're supposed to be putting it back in soon. But yeah, that happened. It looks like there was some other inventory problem we had that they ended up coming out about on like the 28th. They ended up saying we are currently investigating the missing inventory inability to build issue due to the fallout of our faulty backend node yesterday on 12/27. If you're still experiencing the issue or attempting to build, please reach out to our player support team and we can help. So they compensated all these people. There was an update on the 29th that said the initial compensation for missing inventory and V-Bucks should now be complete. And obviously, if you're still missing something, contact them. There's going to be another round of compensation. So they're trying to fix those issues, but it's these little things, and I say that because I think they are working to smooth out some of these things, right? And some of the things we've heard about going forward in 2018 that they kind of put in the state of the game. Those changes, that they listed there are all coming there too. If you want to listen back a few episodes, we went over that. But I definitely think some things they're working on. Just give me that clarification. Like, hey, David's fighting a mini boss. It's on the field, right? Like, here it is. Here, because I don't care that they display the mini boss. I don't think it takes away from the difficulty of the game. I shouldn't have to. I don't feel like I should have to locate him. Like, find him if one of my teammates is already fighting him.
Absolutely not. Like, there should be a fair chance to defend against a mini boss.
Yeah.
Because if you have to locate the guy, and he looks very much like the other guys, maybe with slight subtle differences that maybe not everybody will realize because they don't play enough to know, well, this guy doesn't typically have, some some little effect going on him. It shouldn't be a position where you're like, well, I can't possibly defend fairly because I'm playing solos and people don't recognize it. I think it needs to be fair. The other disclaimer I want to put here, kind of what you were just saying, is like, I don't want anybody that listens to our show, even Epic, if anybody at Epic ever listens to the show, I'm not complaining like, oh, your game sucks. I hope everybody understands that my heart is criticism that I want the game to be better. Because I'll tell you, everybody I've played with, that doesn't understand this thing or that thing. I mean, I have people at work that are asking me questions about this game, and I'm like, go listen to the podcast. And they're like, well, I don't want to listen to the podcast. So you're right here in the office. Just tell me.
All right.
And so everybody I talk to that's kind of down on the PVE side of things, as soon as I explain some stuff and they kind of get a footing and they start understanding, the more fun they start having with PVE.
Right.
So that's my big thing. Is like my heart's in the right place for everybody that listens. The other thing is, the more you understand about this game, the more fun you will have, and that's why mini bosses need to be displayed. Because if the better you understand what's going on in your game, better you're going to have a chance to defend your 3-day from failing.
Right.
The better chance you're going to have to do the things you want to do in game, and you're not going to be in the position where it's like, dude, we lost because no one came and helped me fight this mini boss. He destroyed everything, the generator, and they still didn't come because they didn't realize that I was fighting a mini boss.
Yeah, it was a bit frustrating. And at the end of the day, I think this is the hump that it takes. Like, dude, I remember yesterday it finally clicked with me. Like, I'm upgrading. I was upgrading some of my inventory items, like some of my weapons, some of my traps.
Huh.
And I was like, okay, like I feel like I'm finally getting in the groove of this game after all the hours I put in. Like I've gotten to Plankerton now, right? We talked about about getting there. I got there finally, and I'm going through that. But like I went through all of that, and now I finally feel like, okay, I think I'm finally grasping this game a little bit. And maybe you're like, TwoLoud guy, he's super slow. Like he don't get it. He's a dummy. And that could be partially true, but there's a lot of gamers out there that I've talked to that play Fortnite or tried to play the campaign that also may be dumb, but at the end of the day, we could not understand what was some of the things that were going on, and making things clear and simplistic and letting us know what's going on with some of these items really would really be beneficial, I think, to the player base as more and more people keep diving into the PVE and learning it, because I think, like we've said the whole time, there's a lot of fun to be had here. So
yeah, and there's definitely some stuff on Epic's end that they've got to address to up the fun factor.
Yeah,
there is some repetitiveness to the game that can get dull if you're playing for long periods of time. But I agree with everything you just said. I think we can get there. There's just it's still being worked on. They're still making a lot of changes.
So a couple quick things to go over with this update. We had the season store versus the llamas. And how have you been feeling about that as far as the stores go? Because I guess the event store is what they call it.
Yeah, event store. Well, yeah, I guess it's an event store. It should just be called a loot store, because basically I'm under the impression that this thing isn't going anywhere. Because on one side you have stuff that is seasonal, and then on the other side you have stuff that appears to be, and from weekly my understanding, will be in the game, weekly items once the event is over. So this store seems to be here,
right?
Not like, oh, this will be gone.
Well,
after
it makes you think. Will they continually always have an event going? Because it's called the event store. So I mean, they're always gonna have some type of event going.
They could possibly have an event going, because I mean, we saw the little mini event with Vendor Tech.
Right. That'll probably be back.
Yeah, so it could be a Vendor Tech event, which that'd be cool. I'm down for just a constant wave of events, and always feeling like I have something to do other than progress the main campaign, which maybe they shouldn't take so much focus away from that, because what happens when you get to too high a power level, you're like, dude, why aren't I getting the XP anymore? And then you're like, oh, I need to get out of this. I've played
too many of these events. I need to get out of this stupid area on my campaign. Right. Yeah, that happened. I'm working towards the Copper Ralphie's Revenge, man. That thing is still up in that event store. 22 days left on it. I really want that.
Yep. So the thing I like about the store is I love the fact that you can look at the store and you're like, hey, I want this item, or I want that item. And it's nice because instead of you playing through because they do have kind of the Fortnite thing where it's like, hey, there's this tab where you can go play these missions, and once you complete them, you get your snowball grenade launcher. So they do have that. But once, that's normally a path. You get these items, set items, you can't change nothing, do the things, you get that.
Right.
So that's why I like the event store. You go in, you're like, hey, maybe you want the Ralphie's Revenge. So you're like, that's what I'm going for.
Yeah.
I bought the Monsoon as soon as I could get it because my character is extremely teched out for pistol damage. I'm doing a whole pistol build. So Monsoon's like this like Gatling pistol.
Yeah.
And
revolver, Gatling revolver pistol.
Yeah. And it doesn't take, so most of my other guns that are of the same kind of archetype,
yeah,
they all use energy cells right now. And that ammo is more expensive. So it's nice to have this one that doesn't take, I think it takes small ammo or something.
Right.
So it's nice to have it to take the cheaper ammo to build. But I like the fact that there's that option. Like I don't have to do this, and that. Oh, I get Ralphie's Revenge first, and then maybe I didn't even want that gun or care about that gun. I get an option to say I do want Monsoon first. And that's what I'm going to buy first, and I get there. So I do like that, and I like that you don't want any guns. Maybe you just want more storage space. Guess what? They're selling more storage space. Maybe you don't want any of that crap. You want V-Bucks, so you can buy some cool stuff in PvP. Guess what? They're selling V-Bucks in there or seasonal gold.
Yeah.
Gold. Sorry, I was first.
Yeah, because you got the gold. You have the gold, and you have the snowflakes, right? Which is kind of played out for the first time that we've seen these currencies differences.
Yeah. We also have daily gold. There's like two or three things that are sold in the store for daily gold, and that is, they seem to be either epic or legendary weapons. From me watching just kind of the cycle through, it's typically like a weapon and a trap from what I've seen.
Yeah.
I don't know if that changes at all, but yeah. So from what I've seen so far, that seems to be where, what they're doing with that, and that might change after the event. That's kind of where I'm thinking. Maybe they'd have daily gold items, and that whole right side will be daily gold items, and you can save up and you buy, whatever daily stuff you want.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening, how they handle it. I just like the fact they're giving us more options, right? How have you felt about 1,000 snowflake tickets for a single llama? A little much, considering you don't. If you play a 3-day, you get 300 snowflake tickets. If you play a 7-day, you get 700. So you can spend 3 hours playing, or at least 2 hours, right? Playing a 7-day, whatever it takes, 2 hours, 3 hours, playing a 7-day and not even be able to buy a llama. And that's 2 or 3 days, 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah.
I feel like you could utilize your time a lot better and do some other things to get 700 a lot quicker in 3 hours. Maybe not.
Yeah, there was a Reddit post, and I should have pulled this up before we did the show. The guy kind of broke down what to do. Your probably best bet is if you're going to do Survive the Storm, if you're looking for ticket efficiency, your best bet is probably to do 3 days if you're going to do Survive the Storm, and then I think you can get 10 missions of like 60 to 7 or up to like 90 or 105 tickets per mission. I think that's at like really high power levels at the 105. So breaking that down, the guy broke this down on Reddit, and he showed that it's actually a very giving event as far as being able to get what you want if you know how to get there. The problem is like you said, if you're going to do a 7-day, you're going to do a 3-day, like, dude, that's a lot of time, and you don't even get to open a llama after either one. You can do 3 days in 1 day, and like one real life day, and get those rewards, okay? You can do 1 7-day and 1 real day in the world and get the 700 reward.
Yeah. So, it is not confusing for anyone, I promise.
Right, no, that was, I was thinking about what I was saying there for a second. I was like, God, this is getting a little convoluted. But, so there's those options, and you can get some llamas off that. I don't know, man. I'm not a huge fan of the 1,000 tickets. It just feels like forever to get a reward.
It doesn't feel like as common as the, at Fortnite Mares. It didn't feel as common as, the 500 pumpkin bucks or whatever they were, candies, 500 candies.
Yeah. I mean, I felt like I did a couple things on Fortnite Mares, and boom, there's a llama. Did a couple more things, boom, llama. If I wasn't getting llamas, I was getting rewards off the quest line, and it was just like boom, 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 boom. I just felt like I was getting barrage with stuff. And this one is a little easier at first because you do have some quests that are giving you like, 500 tickets, 250 tickets. But as it goes on, like where I'm at, it starts to wear a little thin, and you're like sitting there like, well, how much more to get a reward?
Right. Well, speak of rewards, have you gotten any though that you really like?
Yeah, I mean, my favorite reward right now, I have my game pulled up. So my favorite reward, I actually told you to get this with the lightning pistol.
I have that one as well. Yeah, I have an epic version of the lightning pistol.
Now, I know a lot of people online talk bad about these types of pistols because they are low impact. They have very quick clips. They shoot very, very fast. They drain ammo pretty quickly. If you're just like holding them down, I've learned to burst these things, and maybe it's just because I'm pretty high power level for the area I'm in, so I down things very, very quickly. I don't have any problems necessarily with my ammo. I feel like my ammo lasts a very, very long time, and it does a crap ton of DPS. As I showed you when you were.
I've just run into my first problem as far as that's concerned with materials, getting enough bolts and screws because I've been doing all these survivals, so I've been using all my bolts and screws for traps. Yeah, and it's the first time I've run into that problem, and I know you've kind of gone through that as well. But when it comes to ammo, I haven't had a real big problem with it either. But I've gotten the lightning pistol. I got the vacuum tube sword, and I leveled that thing up to like power level, I don't even know, like 50 or something like that already. And then I got the vacuum tube.
I don't think I have the sword.
I got the vacuum tube rifle that I got powered up to like level 50 as well.
I like that gun. I think it's overall a decent.
It's okay.
It seems,
yeah,
and maybe it's my perks, but overall it seems like an okay gun.
Yeah. And I thought I'd gotten the revolver as well. I think I did. I got the vacuum tube revolver or something like that.
I still haven't built that thing in game, and
I haven't either.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I've gotten it, but I haven't built it as well. So we'll find out.
I have this sniper rifle, and that one's really cool because it's a continuous lightning, like the whole time. It has a massive clip because of that fact.
Right.
I don't know how viable it is as an option.
I don't know. I want to try the vacuum tube revolver because I have a trap wall that is a legendary trap wall, wall lights, and so I leveled that thing up to like level 50 as well. So the really cool thing about that revolver is on that revolver there's actually a perk, and it like gives 15 additional damage to like stun targets.
Yep.
So, or at least on the one I got, 15 damage to stun, staggered, and knocked out targets. And then at level 10 on that gun, it damages to slow stun targets as well. So,
wow. Yeah, all the lightning weapons stun their target. I think it's a certain amount of shots have to be registered.
Right.
You actually get the stun off, because I've actually seen them like visibly be stunned and be like, "Whoa!" like standing there for a second. So I don't know that stuns, because the way it reads on the website when they came out with the guns, is kind of like, "Oh, well, that always stuns," but I don't know that that's true. But they do. The lightning does stun. I got the vacuum tube rocket launcher.
Ooh.
Pretty cool. It shoots out like 3 electric balls.
Yeah.
At things. It's pretty cool. It feels weaker than other. It's definitely weaker than other rocket launchers. So, like doing encampments, typically I build 2 or 3 rocket launchers and I just decimate the camps.
Yeah.
A rocket launcher, right, and then I'm out of there.
Well, overall, they came out with some pretty cool stuff. I think it's there. It's a little bit more of a
the
grind.
Weapons themselves
this time
are very unique.
Yeah,
like looking and how like using lightning as a bullet. So.
Yeah, they're doing some really cool stuff with it. I just think, like I said, for me this time, I haven't played a ton of it. I've played a handful of Survive the Storms this time around. I don't know how much of it I'm going to play. There's a couple items I want to get right there, in the store, the event store, but that's about it. I don't know if I'm going to hammer this one out as much as I hammered out Fortnite Mares.
Well, my biggest thing is like they have to survive the storm there. They have the event store, and this is where my biggest problem with this event comes. Is they have a tab like Fortnite the Fortnite Mares, where you press square and you see the whole quest line, and you can get the snow grenade launcher, snowball launcher, and there's like I think 2 or 3 rewards associated to that tree. Where Fortnite Mares, it was like every couple of nodes you hit, you were getting some reward. And I know they wanted to take away the RNG stuff, and to me, it just seemed like you packed Fortnite Mares with like all these different rewards, and then you got to the end, and you got this really awesome, weapon that maybe if you haven't gotten any really good weapons, you got this nice auto rifle. And here, it's like, well, it's a grenade launcher, so it's cool. It's a cool grenade launcher, and I'm sure it does, well. I don't know. I just feel like the end reward kind of is like lacking,
right?
Or it doesn't have enough
depth,
to make me like I gotta get through this and get that. Yeah. Other than once it's out of PvP, it's like, well, at least I have it in PvE forever.
Yeah, that's true. It'll probably be back next year. I'm just saying. I'm guessing probably back next year. Well, let's go ahead and jump out of here. Overall, like we said, it's not poo poo. It's just.
No.
Some things to uncover. Some things to make a little bit better. They made a huge jump, not giving us a 14-day. Thank you, God, Epic. That's not on the list. A 14-day would kill me. But
I wouldn't mind if they had that there as an option, but don't associate any rewards to it. Don't make it where it's like if you have to do this to get this thing. It's like, hey, you hardcore people that want to play for 14, do the Fortnite, then they can go do that. They can be crazy.
Yeah. Well, applause to them for getting another event out. It's been fun. It is, at least they're giving it, and it's free. Okay, so if you own the game, it is free, which is really cool for them to be giving these DLC and these event packs for free. Really enjoying them. Well, let's go ahead and jump into our last part. We're gonna give some little tip. We gotta leave you here with a tip and a trick.
You ask, do we have tips? Of course. And do we have tricks? Oh yes, we do. So listen up.
All right, so this week, what I want to talk about is awareness for you guys. We talked a little bit about awareness, but I want to talk about upgrading your structures. Like, be aware and upgrade the structure. If you don't know, if you've ever healed a structure if you play on Xbox or on PlayStation, it's clicking, well, with the setup we have at least, you click in your right thumbstick, it'll start to heal the structure. You can also upgrade these structures. So there are 3 different levels of upgrades. I believe 4, maybe 3, 4. I don't know.
There's 3.
I think it's just 3. But you can upgrade everything. You can upgrade the wood. 3. You can upgrade the brick, and you can upgrade the metal. Right?
Yeah.
And how often do you do this, Nolxero? I mean, do you upgrade a lot of your structures? What do you do?
So, in the event of survive the storm, absolutely. Build with metal, upgrade those things. The problem is I'm in Plankerton right now, and I probably need to get out of Plankerton. Because I'm sitting at a power level 40, and Plankerton doesn't really offer much in the way of level 40 stuff. So typically when I go to do these missions, it's putting me in level 23, power level 23 areas, and I smash on everything there. So yes, it's a very important thing if you're at or around the same power level as the things you're fighting. But if you're much higher than that, then it doesn't matter.
I've been doing it around my bases as I got out of Stonewood, and you do your
at home base. Definitely at home base.
Yeah, I'm
go in there,
upgrade all your materials,
some resources.
So. Definitely been doing that. So guys, remember that. If you don't know, hey, just a little tip and trick: upgrade your structures.
Another little thing to put here real quick is how you build your structures when you edit them. That determines their health as well. So, like if you put a window in, you're taking the HP down of that item. So, the upgrade is very important on those things as well. Like if, say, you're building a little thing, like a little wall, small wall, where it's just the bottom row in your edit, upgrading that is very important because it's going to have a very low health compared to a full-size wall. So upgrading it can actually put it in the same kind of bracket as a full-size wall. Some of the nodes on your upgrade tree also give you the option to have faster upgrades. So they'll upgrade faster when you click it, faster builds, and higher HPs.
So keep all those in mind, guys, as you continue to build your way through your Fortnite experience.
Especially your trap walls.
Oh, yeah, especially trap walls.
Those walls go down, so do the traps. Keep those walls healthy and upgraded.
Right. Well, guys, as always, we hope you guys enjoyed the show. You can follow us on Twitter at Fortnite Podcast. You can follow me on Twitter at TwoLoudTX and Nolxero at NOLXERO. Go ahead and leave us a review on iTunes, please. Thanks so much to Aluminum Express. Gave us a 5-star review and said, love the pod, guys. Keep it up and keep those tips coming. So we're going to keep that going for you guys. If you do it, we will next week we'll read all the reviews we get. So if you guys leave us a review on iTunes or on Podbean, I will go and read them, give you a shout out on the podcast next week. So guys, thank you so much for doing that. Really appreciate it. You can always send an email to us with any tips, any things we can do better for you, what you love or what you hate, over at fortnitepodcast@gmail.com. Don't forget glomtom.com, and your special code is Fortnite for 5% off over there. Thanks so much. And as always, guys, until next time, dance out those kills and boast in those victory royales.
Yeah. Let's go, baby.